Hey, folks, my guest today is Joe Long. He's a serial entrepreneur, CFO, CEO, CEO for various companies. His secret sauce is fixing and adjusting SMBs for operational efficiency and building perpetual motion teams. He's had 4 years in the Air Force, 30 years in and around Silicon Valley, and now is focused on certain industries like manufacturing, IT, staffing companies with installers who are actually in the field. He does this via adasoft.net, his ERP software for flooring companies. Joe, you ready to take us to the top?
I am.
All right. Did I get that right? Adasoft is your software company?
That's right. Yep.
All right.
Datasoft is software I started building 3 years ago, actually.
That's amazing. Okay. So where'd you get the idea from?
So 2009, I worked for a flooring company, and I started in IT early on, but the flooring company had some really antiquated software, 40 years old, started in the 80s. And I thought, wow, we can do better than this. So we built some tools with Excel, built some tools with Access. And then I left the company, so I kind of let it go. Fast forward to 2018, 2019, I found myself back with that same group, different flooring company, still using the same software. So I went out and looked at all.
Which is what? What were they using?
CompuFloor, it's called.
CompuFloor.
So four main competitors in the flooring industry, and it's niche. So everyone built the software who ran a flooring company, and then go ahead.
No, that's great. I'm just laughing. This is a great story. Who are the other three? So CompuFloor, who else?
So there's RFMS, Rollmaster, and those two recently got bought out. So they got bought out by larger companies that are packaging different types of flooring. CompuFloor is one of the independents left. There's another called QFloors. But all of them were started by floor professionals who just needed a better software way back when. So they started in the 80s and the 90s. I think QFloors was the most recent. But all of them, they're built on old SQL databases, and they've all tried to put a new front end on it. It didn't work out. So CompuFloor is actually failing in its transactions. So the inventory is inaccurate, things like that. So I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and build it now that I have the time and resources.
And you're an engineer. Are you self-taught?
No, actually, I'm not. I got into the IT world, funny story, back in the Air Force, right? And when I got out, I found out all of my technology was outdated. So I went into accounting because I could still use computers, still play with Excel, still play with little bits of code. I'm not a coder by any stretch. I learned COBOL, Fortran, and BASIC way back when. So
wow.
I didn't keep up with
So
time.
Joe, how do you get the MVP built? You start coding this 3 years ago. How do you get the MVP up?
Right. So what I am good at is building a database. So I built a SQL database, designed it, built the flows around it, and then I outsourced everything. So I think I mentioned when I emailed you that I'm a one-man show in terms of that. Everything else is contracted. Everything else is outsourced. And I think I'm going to keep it that way for a while.
I love that. So how many people last month did you pay at least $1 to do some kind of task for you in Adasoft? 6. Okay. Give us a little bit of flavor of what they do.
Right. So it's a team out of India. It's a company called Flexin and SEO Logistics.
Flexin what?
I've got some Flexin, Flexsin, and SEO Logistics. So they've done a great job for me. I just contacted them, looked up the reviews way back when, and they started working with me over time within the budget that I had. And,
which was what? What was the budget?
Well, it was about $10,000 a month to begin with, and then it floated up to about $25,000 a month. And now we're just kind of putting icing on the cake, and we're down to around $10,000 a month.
All right. So how much have you sunk in so far of your own money?
About $320,000.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. right? So the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So Traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview.
So how did people are going to go, wait, how is this guy rich already? Did you have some big eggs in your past or just some savings or what?
Right. So throughout all this time, from 2015 forward, I actually restarted a business that I had started during the internet boom back in 98 to 2002. It was called Q Associates, and Q Associates was an agency, right? We did staffing and consulting. And the secret sauce is I do what other companies don't do well for themselves. That's the small and medium-sized businesses. So maybe they're really good at manufacturing, maybe they're really good at installing floors, but they're not really good at accounting, IT, HR, payroll. So I come in, I smooth those out, I train people, I set up teams, and that's kind of the secret sauce. One time, and they're helping, I might say, well, outsource your accounting to me, outsource your HR to me.
So you made money over there consulting.
Right. So that business is more or less evaporated during COVID, right? Because everyone was staffed and everyone wanted the PPP money. So I was able to hang on to them and get some PPP money, which also helped to build this software.
That's wild. So what do they? Okay, so let's say. Oh, sorry, we're cutting each other off. I apologize. But you move back into Adasoft then once you get going. You start coding it 3 years ago. Help me understand today. What's the product and what are customers paying on average per month for it?
Right. So it's an end-to-end ERP system. So from sales to cash, right, all the way through. It handles inventory, accounting, finance, scheduling, labor rates, the whole 9 yards for companies with installers in the field. It's primarily designed for flooring right now, but it can easily be applied to landscaping or, electricians, whoever has vans in the field to keep track of. So the rate per user, $169. And, our first customer here has about 60 users. So right out of the gate, we're in pretty good shape. So we got
Wait, come on, Joe, you gotta explain. I was gonna say, you gotta explain that. How do you land as your first customer, someone that's going to pay you 60 seats times $170 a seat or about 10K in MRR?
I happen to be the COO of that company.
So you control the budget. This is insider trading.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't get to choose whether they accept it. The fact that CompuFloor is failing so badly and can't keep track of the finances makes it really easy for me. So literally, CompuFloor is failing across its entire customer base. They've had 3 project managers who've left over the last 18 months. Lead programmer left. So they're struggling. So, it's a ready-made market for me. And I don't mind sharing that because I'm first to the egg.
Doesn't Adasoft start growing so fast that you have to leave that other company in the COO role or no?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a team of people around who are willing to work as a contract basis. So I was also the CFO of an IT company that did Oracle implementations. So I'm very familiar with the Oracle database environment. They did implementations, they did upgrades worldwide. So they were a global organization. So I've got contacts around the world who are willing to, jump in, do an implementation or, talk to customers if need be about, what works for their database. So I've got a lot of outsourcing capabilities.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So give me a flavor, just because my audience doesn't necessarily know what flooring installation sort of looks like, right? So when you say 60 people bought a seat at the company, what are the job titles of some of those 60 people?
So customer service, they have case management where they take installer calls from the field, accounting, HR, payroll, the operations group who runs the warehouse and the inventory, does the scheduling for the installers. So they've got 3 locations. They're one of the top 100 flooring companies in the U.S. And
Measured by what? Like square feet of flooring installed
revenue
per year? Oh, revenue. Okay.
No, revenue. Yeah. So there's a huge one in the Midwest, the Big Daddy, that's private anyway, not the Sherwin-Williams of the world. But
who is it? Who's the biggest one? What do they do in revenue?
America's Floor Source, and he's well over 100 million. His name is Jason Goldberg. He's
profitable.
He's yeah. I went out and visited their place, and he runs a tight operation.
So what software does he use?
Coffee Floor.
Okay, you already signed him up.
He will be.
That's awesome. What would you get him to switch off of?
Well, they're on CompuFloor, and then they augment it with an Access database. So they've done a lot of workarounds there. And really, this is the story with every CompuFloor shop, right? There's going to be a CompuFloor shop probably in every major market. I know of about 10 customers right now that I'll be talking with, or putting in the pipeline. 2 of them are there. I'm already in conversation.
What's CompuFloor's revenue, you think?
I tried to find that out. I've heard 2 numbers. So I talked to one of their project managers when he left, and he didn't want to give up a lot of information. He was just gone 2 months, but I got the idea that they had 250 to 350 customers. The problem that they did, they didn't take a SaaS model. They were all on-prem way back when. So they've taken the on-prem and they're trying to make a SaaS model, but instead of reinventing the whole thing, they just slapped a front end on top of their database, and it doesn't work well.
Interesting. But so what do you think their revenue is? Like 10 million a year?
If that, yeah. I mean, they have a layered approach. So this company pays approximately what they pay for Adasoft, right? Mm-hmm. They're running the same thing, $10,000 a month or so. But CompuFloor charges them $800 just to create a license. And, just selling points like that are a slam dunk. Why would you pay $800 to create a user?
Yeah. So why not?
But I'd say they're in the neighborhood of 4 or 5 million. I guess.
I'm thinking a lot about like how I want to spend the rest of my life, and what I'm realizing is like, I've seen enough like sales SaaS tools and marketing SaaS tools, selling to other SaaS companies. I love these sort of niche tools that are doing 5 to 10 million a month, especially on-prem, trying to move to SaaS. You and I should just team up and go buy this thing.
Oh, you know what? I floated that idea to them. They ignored me. So it's run by a 70-odd-year-old guy who's a bit of a kingpin. That's why the employees cite that they leave. Just because he's too dictatorial. He won't shake it loose. He's got a son who's been trying to, drag it into the future, as I understand it. I've talked to him a couple of times. But buy the user base, right? That's what Rollmaster got bought by Broadloom, and they're not really changing it. They're talking about rolling out, an ERP system in a year or 2. But they've just taken the same on-prem Windows-based software that looks like it's from the 1990s, and they've packaged it with a couple of other things. Same with RFMS. RFMS just bought by 2020 something group.
But you don't think this guy will sell? You don't think he's willing to sell?
He'll be pretty motivated as the dominoes start to fall, I think.
Yeah.
And, I thought about going to Rollmaster and RFMS and telling them the same thing. It's like, look, guys, give me your customer base. I'll, whatever your profit is, I'm sure I can match that.
Because, Well, so what are you at right now? 11K in MRR? Is that total today?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And nothing a year ago, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, this just rolled out to paying.
Yep. So what do you think you'll hit this year? Total MRR, like December this year?
I think for the next 2 months, we're going to perfect it here, because once you have this reference here, the others will just fall in. So I'd say, by June, they'll probably be 10. And that's just, a matter of a rate of implementation that you can do this and get everybody acclimated. But after that, when you've got 2 or 3 references, they'll be calling.
I'm just trying to get a sense of if you're a killer or not, right? If you sense this is a big space, and you want to go after it, like, are you willing to do whatever it takes to go sign up these users? Because this just feels like to me, like there's only 500 potential clients in the US. They only have a maximum of 100 seats at pops. There's only 50,000 seats you can sign up at $170 a month. Like, let's go freaking win them.
Yeah. So you noticed in my bio, one of my things is to create perpetual motion teams. What I mean by that is you set up a crew of people and you turn them loose. Right? You got a person who's sailing and putting them into the pipeline, and then you got a team that goes out and implements. I don't have to be in on that like I am now, right? I'm the subject matter expert. I'm the guy who can close it. I know the industry. But once the industry has references, you can create these teams and send them off to do this, one after another, because CompuFlow isn't, the business isn't complicated. The ERP system isn't necessarily complicated compared to a NetSuite or an Oracle. So it's really lift and shift, plug and play. You can probably implement inside of a week. So, put these teams in motion on a contract basis, right? There's tons of contractors out there who do implementations. And then we'll work on making it for landscaping and making it for construction teams in the field. So one of the opportunities.
Sorry, I was going to say, I hope you scale, because you reached out to my emails. I told my whole list. I said, I'm hunting for who's going to build, $100 million company, one person, because they're going to use contractors. And you said, I'm using contractors pretty well. And I said, you got to come on the show, but I hope you scale. I hope it works.
Yeah, well, I've got something else in the works that I'll bring to you in a couple of months. If that works, it'll be worth talking about. Right
Just
now,
whatever's doing the most money. That's what I want to know about.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. The next, I'll tell you the next one, if it works, if this little algorithm I think I've got figured out.
Why
works,
not this one though? It sounds like you're onto something good here. You can replace an ugly legacy player. Why not this one?
I will do this one, but I'll also do the other.
No, you can't do all this stuff. You can't do all this stuff. Then nothing works. You got it. How do you? No, Is it hard? Like, you feel like you can balance all four things at once?
No, I mean, with Q Associates, I was literally, the secret sauce, having 5 positions with 5 different companies, COO, CFO, different positions at different points in time. And, for me, it's not that difficult. For me, it's, not me doing the work as much as showing and telling other people how to do the work, finding the right teams, perpetual motion teams.
Love that. All right, we're out of time, Joe. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
All right. It's a throwback. It's Think and Grow Rich. It's what got me started in entrepreneurial mode.
It's a good one. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I like Tim Cook on the big stage, but Arvind Sharma, the CEO of IT Convergence, he's a great mentor.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building Adasoft?
Ooh. That's a good one. SQL database is what I started with.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
6 to 8.
Okay. And situation, married, single, kids?
I got 3 grown kids and a nice girlfriend.
3 grown kiddos. Okay. And how old are you?
53.
53. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Don't get married, start a business.
Guys, there you have it. Don't get married, start a business. Adasoft.net. He launched it to scratch his own itch. He's working at a flooring company that had a terrible ERP. He said, I'm going to build it myself. He then signed them up as his first customer on his new software platform. Now doing 10 grand a month in revenue, hoping to double that, triple that over the next 6 to 12 months. What I love about this is a one-guy shop. He's got 6 contractors that he's in a great job managing. High revenue per employee as he scales. Joe, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.